Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another one. Ethan on Everything has got himself like the greatest job on planet Earth. I love the content that he makes. I talked about this before in his previous video. We did a reacting to debating with a video tournament video where me and him agreed up until the end. But that video got me to, I'm going to be buying the book that the judge is from. It's called Blood Meridian. It's like a Western style book. But today we are, who are the most powerful super soldiers in fiction? Now, of course, I think I know the answer to this. But we're going to see what he comes up with. And I'm going to judge them and rank them how I see fit. Is that fair? Is that fair? Is there something going on with like why that scrolly bar pops up here? I don't get this thing. Anyway.
Super soldiers in fiction. That is what we are going to be talking about today, okay? In the big old year of 2025, if I have to explain what a super soldier is to you, the best way that I would do it is imagine this, okay? You take a soldier, and then you're like, hey, yo, how do we Lockheed Martin the actual human being? And then, boom, you get something like Master Chief from the Halo universe.
Yep.
Or if they're
Typical. How much of this intro are we going to watch?
1,000 subscriber goal, and I know we're at like 212.
Help this dude out.
And some of you are going to be
Not
like, that doesn't seem that close. So let's just have a jetpack and a big old metal buddy called a Titan to the Space Marine. With all that out of the way,
what's the criteria?
Let's get into super soldiers in fiction.
Like, I want to know how he's ranking
Spartans from the Halo universe, okay? And I understand you have Spartan 1s, you got Spartan 2s, and you have Spartan 3s, okay? And those are very, very...
Also, just so you guys know, I'm going to click around the video because you should just go watch the full thing on your own. If there's any characters that I don't know a ton about, I'm going to spend time to listen to his explanation. But overall, we're going to listen to a little bit of his explanation, then jump to his ranking and debate a screen.
Key differences. However, we're going to be covering just Master Chief.
I'm not super familiar with Master Chief and everything he's about. Alex, I know you are, and I know exactly where you're going to rank him.
Basically, okay? Listen, you got Mjolnir armors literally surgically, not grafted. I mean, like, your body is specifically built to be compatible with the Mjolnir armor set, which is basically a toned-down version of a Space Marine in the Warhammer universe. And in some scenarios, I would actually...
Toned down version of a Space Marine. Just say. Also, Mjolnir sounds like Lord of the Rings.
Argue the sealed system for the Mjolnir armor set is actually a smidgen better than what we get in the Warhammer universe. But we'll cover Space Marines when we get the Space Marines. But when we're looking at the Spartans from the...
That's my pick, by the way. Space Marines, Warhammer, banner right behind me. Space Marines, #1 super soldier in fiction.
Halo universe. Brother, Master Chief is literally doing a one-man, not a one-man army, but he is the key difference between humanity staying and humanity going, okay? Enhanced strength, enhanced speed. Okay, the one thing this is actually going to be something I kind of have to take away a little bit. Because at least with the Space Marines and Warhammer, the weapons that they use... Any normal human literally cannot use them. The problem when we're looking at the Spartan...
My problem is that he keeps bringing up Space Marines and we're not to them yet. I don't want him to just... to me, it shows the default that everything is going to be compared to Space Marines, and especially Spartans, Master Chief, because in a way they're somewhat similar. But because Space Marines are so peak, he's going to compare everything to it.
From, or at least Master Chief from the Halo universe, is that he's basically using the exact same weapons that every other soldier is using. Yeah, there's a few things that he can use. He can take off a turret and he can use it. But like, brother, I'm sorry, a bolt rifle in the Warhammer universe.
Bolt gun.
Would be the equivalent of heavy artillery in the Halo universe.
Facts.
So there's going to be some problems that I'm going to go here. However, the only thing I got to add in is that the Spartans were literally made to go against other humans. The Space Marines were made to go after everything.
All right, so where are you ranking them, big dog?
In other verses, they would just be the equivalent of like a slightly above average enemy. Like, I'm just going to be real with you. Like, I think like the Warhammer verse, a lot of really above. This is that they're undeniably...
The MVP. Master Chief, I would put MVP. If you're talking Spartans, I'd put it like very strong or top end of tough. Top end of tough or very strong if it was just Spartans. But the fact that it's Master Chief, I guess you could go MVP. I don't know what all we're comparing it to. I would maybe tweak that later on. What is Nemesis?
VP.
Let's get
The
to
Nemesis from Resident Evil 3.
Oh.
Okay, now take...
I don't know anything
Actually,
about
I
Nemesis.
don't even know how to describe this one. Okay, you basically have the Hulk, but like tone down him getting angrier and angrier, and that makes him more powerful, and then put all of those points into durability. Because this thing is so outrageously durable, you literally have to resort to breaking down its... like, you have to biodegrade this thing into almost nothing to actually...
That's crazy. But that doesn't mean they're good super soldiers. That just means they're durable. They're hard to take down. It doesn't mean that they're good at fighting. So where would I rank them? I would rank them at tough. Let's see where he ranks.
To beat him, but I think he's a perfect middle of the road. He is going to be the person you have to get past to get into an MVP or a one-man army. Captain America.
Hold on. Where did you actually rank him, though? Very strong? I mean, I guess we didn't listen to the full description, so maybe there's more fighting to it, but I'd put him
durability
tough.
is so crazy that it actually makes him competitive with enemies that I would put above, like a Jill Valentine. I'm going to put him in very strong. I think Master Chief beats him, and I think a few other people on this list beat him, but I think he's a perfect middle of the road. He is going to be the person you have to get past to get into an MVP or a one-man army. Captain America.
That doesn't make sense. Captain America would get clapped by all three people he's ranked, two people he's ranked so far. He hasn't ranked Space Marines, but he's basically talked about them. He's been glazing them the whole time. But legit, Captain America would get clapped by Master Chief. Am I crazy for thinking that? That guy is so durable that I don't think Cap beats him. And a Space Marine would sit on him and he'd die.
I think this is oh no, there's one other character in the MCU that's going to be on here, and he's on here for a different reason. When I'm looking at Captain America, the problem with Captain America that I have is the fact that it's like, so let me get this straight.
So you'd have to put him in tough, or you'd have to put him next to the durable guys. Tough or strong, very strong?
Imbued with the powers of an Infinity Stone. And what did you effectively get, if we're just being honest? You're like you're a bit faster than a normal person. You're a bit stronger than a normal person, and we like heighten your reaction time a little bit. But like other than that, you're like just a really fit human. Like that's the problem that I have. It's like, I'm sorry I got to rant about this, but like this is actually a good rant to have. I watched the Thunderbolts.
Low key, Captain America is Marvel's Batman. Like, I know that he has superpowers, but he's kind of overrated.
And the movie actually kind of gets ruined for me a little bit when you find out that all they did with Sentry is that they were trying to make another super soldier more powerful than Captain America, and they literally just created Superman. They created Superman without the weakness to kryptonite.
Dude, you're putting him next to that guy? I don't know. I mean, he's still got fighting and he's got the shield, so I guess you could throw him up there. But see, I would have put Master Chief at the top of very strong or MVP, I guess. This guy, I would have put it tough since it didn't seem like he knew how to fight. He was just durable. Captain America could go very strong or tough.
Same level as Nemesis.
I feel like he's putting people a little bit too high.
Roast me in the comment section. I legitimately do believe Captain America would have trouble facing the Nemesis. I do. I actually do believe he would have some level of trouble. I think it's fairly even. Obviously, plot comes in. Captain America wins. Like, I'll be real here. Master Chief, I can see a scenario where he's able to edge it out. I really do believe that. I think Master Chief could edge out a win against Captain America. Fight me in the comment section.
I don't think that's crazy. Is that crazy? I feel like that's pretty obvious.
Phoenix from Gears of War. There's a lot of people that get angry at me. I don't really cover Gears of War, and I cover a lot of the same IPs in here, so I try.
Yeah, it's true. There's one thing he doesn't do. He doesn't cover a lot of IPs, which is what I'm hoping to do as I'm working on like 2 to 3 scripts for videos. Not scripts, but like plot points, like kind of what he's doing. I'm working on that on 2, 3 other things. And it's going to go into things that IPs, similar type of video, tier listing or explaining lore and things and debating things about it. One of them I talked about in a previous video. Good guys that were actually the bad guys, and then vice versa, bad guys that were actually the good guys. And I'm going to do like a tier list on how bad guys actually are versus good guys, how good they or bad they actually are. But he does cover a lot of the same. So I feel like there is a little bit of a gap for me to fit in there and make content similar to him, but not completely copy him and not keep ripping off his content, like reacting to it like I am right now. So let's not talk about it. But Gears of War, interesting. Don't know a lot about him.
Tried to throw in a few new ones. Okay, he's a gear in the Gears of War series, okay? Super soldier, I mean, he's a super soldier in the same way that, like, oh my goodness. So Arnold is in the original Predator movie. Like, no, like he's an above human specimen 100%, but like a super soldier per se, I wouldn't really say that.
The question is, this Gears guy, was he genetically modified in any way? Is he enhanced in any way? I don't know. It doesn't sound like it based on what he's saying. I would put him at the bottom tier.
Obviously,
compared to everybody we've ranked so far.
He's not going to go that high, but I do believe when we're talking about super soldiers, you do got to bring up the Gears from Gears of War. The fact is that they were able to win their respective conflicts. I think they would do well in different verses. I think they're more powerful than, like, some people in the UNSC. I think that's a fair take to be had. I think he could with...
What's the UNSC? Anybody know? Let me know in the comments. But, like, that's the thing, this tier list that he has, humans, just generic humans, me and you, we would be so far down on this tier list that you can't even show that. So, just because he's at the bottom of all these tiers, in my mind, he's at the bottom.
I don't think Marcus Phoenix beats Nemesis by himself.
No. Based on what I've heard, no.
I don't know. I'm going to put him in tough.
I would put him in strong. Now, that could change based on who else. I mean, we got quite a few segments here that he's going to go through. Could change my response.
I got to put him there. Solo feats, he needs a few more before I put him up a bit higher. I'm sorry, Master Chief clears, and I will stand on that easily. BJ Blazkowicz from the Wolfenstein series. Dude, he is literally a diet...
Wolfenstein. Gotcha.
Version of Doom Guy, and they had to figure out an enemy that you could do that to that was human, that nobody would feel bad of. So they chose a version of the Germans from World War II that actually won. That is basically what Wolfenstein is. And when we're looking at BJ Blazkowicz, which is actually related to Doom Guy, but it's a version of Doom Guy in a different universe, which is like actually the lore reasoning for it. Okay, I'm sorry, solo feats.
That's insane.
By himself. I understand he's supposed to be a regular dude, but this is like a regular dude in the same way that, like, Master Chief's a regular dude. Okay?
To be fair, anything involving Doom Guy, Ethan has an extreme bias. Extreme bias to Doom Guy. Now, to be fair, Doom Guy is elite of the elite of the elite of the elite. Probably stronger than anything in fiction because of plot armor. But reality is this. He has a lot of bias towards anything related to Doom Guy.
Hey, when we're going into, like, the newest Wolfenstein game, he literally has a cybernetic body. The only part of him that is organic is his head. Any damage to his body does not... And first off, his body's actually stated to be way more powerful than the average person. Is a legitimate super soldier. It's only his head that you can actually damage, and it would take him out. And I understand, like, yeah, I guess that kind of doesn't really mean a whole lot. But, like, obviously, dude, he's more powerful than Marcus Phoenix. I would put him in toe-to-toe with Captain America. And I would...
That's crazy. Cap's not bulletproof, is he? So maybe that is fair. Maybe that is fair. Because this guy sounds like he's bulletproof-esque, except for his head. Cap, bulletproof shield, but his body is not bulletproof. And he's flesh everywhere. This guy's just flesh in the head. So you got to be... But I'd maybe put him behind Cap. Or, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's 50-50. But I would put him above the gear, maybe. But if he catches a bullet to the head, isn't it over? So I don't know. That to me, that just seems weird. But I don't know enough about him, and he didn't really go into detail.
Actually, put him slightly above Captain America. I could see a scenario where he beats the Nemesis. But the problem is he's like a more nerfed version of the Doomslayer in his human form. Doomslayer in his human form is already an MVP. Doomslayer, I don't want to spoil it. I'm going to put BJ Blazkowicz in very strong. Agent 47 from the Hitman franchise.
Is he a super soldier? Or is he just a really good hitman? I don't know.
Super soldier 100%.
Oh, okay.
Master of martial arts, faster reaction time. There's a few other things. Master of espionage, stealth is his whole thing. A lot of the people that he is taking care of, he's so efficient at it that they actively think that it was an accident. Master of disguise is another one. And I understand that sounds, I don't know. I've said this a few times, okay? I think the act of precision is better and more aura-filled. This isn't an aura one, but this is like how effective I think they are. More aura-filled than just going scorched earth on a target. The fact that, like, Agent 47 could walk into a building and take out one person and then walk out and be completely unharmed, and people would think that the assassination was an accident because of how effective he was.
That would be used in minute circumstances. When I think super soldier, I'm thinking war, and I wouldn't go to war with Agent 47. I would use him to assassinate a leader or whatever. But when I think super soldier, I'm thinking fighting a war. So I would not put him above Captain America. I'd put him below Gear, the Gear guy, whatever his name was.
I'm gonna put him in tough. I think that's fair. Yeah, obviously you put him in a one-on-one against like Marcus Phoenix. I can see Marcus Phoenix winning that. BJ Blazkowicz, I don't even think he turns up as a threat. The Nemesis, maybe. Master Chief, he's just
Nemesis is a maybe against this guy. Then why is the Nemesis so high? Other than durability, I don't get
a regular guy.
I disagree with the Nemesis placement. I agree with this placement.
Sorry, like I gotta put it there. I think that's valid. Solid Snake from Metal Gear. Okay, now take what I said with Agent 47, but literally crank it up to an absolute 10.
I was literally thinking that in my brain. I would place him. Oof. I think he would beat Blazkowicz, the whatever dude, Wolfenstein. But I don't know. Does he beat Cap? He might not beat Wolfenstein. Maybe he's at the bottom of that tier.
Okay. Dude, Solid Snake is I'm sorry. Dude, it is so out.
Where does he put him?
Okay, I'm sorry. Actual one-man army.
Nah. Really?
He would finally get the job done. Brother, he is such an effective stealth operative that whenever he's going up against somebody and they find out that they sent Solid Snake against them, they actively lose all trust of their surroundings. Imagine being such an effective stealth tool that when your enemy finds out that you're in the forest, they instantly try to move to an area that, guess what, isn't in the forest. Brother, I'm sorry, he is a tactical...
I feel like that's the majority of the people on the list. I don't know. I get it. Solid Snake, he's a beast. But he really beats all those people below him. He beats Master Chief.
Espionage god, okay? Like, I was going to put Sam Fisher on here when I realized that, like...
That's Splinter Cell.
Metal Gear is what I like to call military anime fiction. That is the best way that I can describe Metal Gear. Whenever people want to say, like, oh,
that still doesn't change anything for me.
I want to play Metal Gear Solid 5 because I'm actually superhuman. He's just that good. Yeah, no, one-man army. He survived getting hit with an RPG and a helicopter going over the ocean. That is how...
So? What does Master Chief survive?
I don't get it. I actually don't.
Nah,
one-man army.
That's an L. That's an L for me. I don't think so.
Space Marines from the
one-man army.
Warhammer universe. Okay. I actually do like how the Warhammer does their super soldiers. They don't go so crazy into like shielding tech. It's like, hey, yo, we're going to use our ability in surgery. We're going to be taking a normal human and then we're going to lengthen their limbs, inject them with human growth hormone. And even then, they're not quite there. So we're going to give them 2 hearts, 2 sets of lungs.
So, yeah, where realistically, yes, my bias would put them at one-man army because I think that if you took a Space Marine, they could probably pummel everybody on the list. There's actually an in-depth video that goes into different factions of Space Marine versus Master Chief, and how most of them win. There are certain factions that wouldn't based on the way that they fight and the way that they go about things. But a majority of them would, let alone a Primarch in the Warhammer universe would mop. So one-man army is very plausible. If anything, definitely above Master Chief.
And then some other organs. And then we are basically going to weld them to the inside where they're going to actually become more powerful because they become more of a machine. Okay, when I'm looking at these Space Marines in the Warhammer universe.
Here's the thing, though. They don't ever do a one-man army. It's all about the Brotherhood. So technically, I don't even know if you could do that. You know what I mean? But, yeah.
I would actually put them above. I would put them. The problem is that the Halo universe is literally a toned down version of the Warhammer universe, and I said that we did a Q&A, and they asked me.
Yeah, similar concepts, but Warhammer universe is worse, for sure. Not dire, not like the dire aspect, but like you face more formidable foes in the Warhammer universe, and way more enemy types in the Warhammer universe. There's a guy who broke down the whole video talking about Master Chief versus Space Marines or just, whatever. So, yeah.
What would the Flood do in the Warhammer universe? And we can make this a full video. The problem is that there's a few enemies in the Warhammer universe that are literally a built-in counter. Like the Necrons destroy the Flood so easily that they wouldn't consider it a threat. Some Primarchs are a hard counter to the Flood. But it's just the Tyranids are such a more powerful version of the Flood in terms of how they operate. That's why people think the Flood would be very competitive. The fact is I'm gonna put them in the MVP. I think they're a little bit more powerful.
I think the MVP is a fair rank for just Space Marines, and yes, generic Space Marine just above Master Chief. It depends on what faction. You have to get super lore heavy with it, but yeah.
Powerful than Spartans. I gotta put them there. Deadpool from the Marvel Cinematic.
One-man army. It's gotta be. What? If you put Solid Snake in one-man army, I feel like Deadpool would be one-man army. No? I'm not saying I would put him there. Sorry, that was me guessing where he's going to put him. I would put him right there with Cap and this dude. I think he'd beat Nemesis. See, Nemesis would be down in tough for me, the top of tough. These three would be here. These two would be here. Snake would be down in tough.
Argument would be Deadpool versus BJ Blazkowicz is kind of...
Oh, dude, the Witcher, he's not really a soldier, dude. He's not really this. We're getting a little liberal with our definitions here, Ethan. All right. I know you're Ethan on everything, but it doesn't mean every video should have everything in it when you finite the definition of super soldier. He's more of a super hunter. Just my thoughts. He beats Nemesis because I would put Nemesis below it, but I don't know if he beats Cap or the Wolfenstein.
Same time, they do fit the criteria of super soldier. They just do, okay?
I don't know about that.
Enhanced reaction time, you have enhanced strength, you have enhanced speed.
But it's the purpose, right? I guess that's what I'm looking at. He's just looking at enhanced people. So I guess I see what he's saying, but let's see where he ranks this.
I think they would look it would be like an Agent 47 game, but it would be a Hitman game, but you're tasked with killing monsters. I'm going to put the Witcher at the same level of an Agent 47, maybe a little bit above, because there is a weaponry difference.
Yeah,
and I do
okay, that's fair. Marcus Phoenix with a gun probably beats him. That's fair. But I would have Nemesis.
Brother,
I think
if you gave Geralt
that's the thing when you do stuff versus other stuff, which this isn't really versus other things. Technically, I'm looking at this list maybe a little bit wrong. You're not necessarily looking at them versus each other. You're just looking at how good they are at what they do. And now I just broke my brain because now I would reorder my list slightly. Oh my word.
I
actually
multiplier in the Hunters from Bloodborne. Okay.
Again, I don't know if I'd consider this a super soldier. And you're going to have matchup differences. Like you said, the gun versus a sword, gun's going to win. So like the matchup, but that doesn't mean they're not a good super whatever at what they're doing. You know what I mean? This is a tough video to make.
A lot of people aren't going to like this because I have a lot of FromSoft fans. The Hunter is not that strong when you compare him. The Hunters. There's some speed. There's some reaction
Fair.
time.
He put him in the bottom.
It's not anywhere.
He put him at the bottom.
Not that.
Yeah, Witcher claps. Agent 47 would be down here next to him,
Powerful.
in my opinion.
Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, pilots from Titanfall. Bro, I love Titanfall so much, dude.
This is
I'm
a
sorry,
Super
I will
Soldier,
never
I
forgive
think.
EA for not giving me a Titanfall 3. Like, I'm so this is a side tangent, but like, let me get this. You know what? Let me crash out.
Hold on.
I
I love his crash outs, but that's not the point of my video. Man, really? He'd put him down there? I'd put him above gear. Are we talking with the suit or without the suit? He probably covers that, but I don't.
because to move around like that, you either got to be on a like Adderall or just
Very comparable to a gear, I think.
superhuman. I'm gonna put
But why would you put him below the Witcher?
him in strong. I just wanted to talk about it, so yeah, I'm gonna put it there. The
Doomslayer, one-man army. We already know. Get out of here. I thought he said he was going to put another Marvel person up there. Oh, Deadpool. Duh. Yeah, Doomslayer's one-man army, top of the list. We already know. Blah, blah, blah. Plot armor and all that good stuff. Yeah. But looking at his total list here, I would change it up a lot. Doomslayer's fine up there. Solid Snake is down here by Agent 47 and The Witcher. The Witcher's enhanced abilities, including like sense of smell, hearing, sight, all these things. I don't know if Agent 47 sneaks up on him. But again, we're not doing a versus. We're doing how good they are at what they do. In that case, I think they're all essentially MVP or above, except for the Hunter and Agent 47, because they're not an army. But, man, Nemesis, based on his description, I don't know about all that. I would have put him down here. I would have put him down there for sure. I think Nemesis and Gear, very good. I think the Witcher matchup is better because the Witcher can figure out what they are, and he probably has something that can literally biodegrade you before your very eyes. Agent 47, I think, down here. Titan above Gear. Again, Nemesis down here. These two, if they're similar, like they're basically the same thing, I guess you put them up there. But I still think Agent 47, Gear, if they can take a bullet to the head, then Agent can't beat them. But the matchup, Agent could beat them because he could just snipe them from forever and a half away. You know what I mean? Oh, he put Deadpool up here? I must have missed that because I thought he put him down here at first. He put him up there. That's probably fair. Bottom of MVP. I think he beats Cap, and I think he beats Wolfenstein. Master Chief and Space Marine, I think, are fine where they are. I still would maybe bump Space Marine up to bottom of one-man army. But that's just me. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought of this video. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Not going to lie. I like this tier list that he made. It's pretty good, but I would change up a few things for sure. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I love to hear your arguments and how much you love my videos. Actually, that's not what I've been hearing lately, but that's okay because I still love you. God bless.